Hey everyone, this is Cubastic and this is our lock in which we need to place the key. The puzzle is really cool and has a 10th difficulty level. The task here is to place these details in this case, so that not only these details are inside, but the lock mechanism itself, together with the key, should be there too. There is a little space to put all this here, so it will be incredibly difficult. I also printed this puzzle with a 3D printer, and the website indicates that we need to start from this scrambled position. And here is the solved puzzle. It will be so interesting, let's get started. To begin with, I need to do just such a thing with the lock mechanism and use the key, that is, put this key inside the lock. This cannot be done in any way due to the shape of the key, so the key is actually divided into two parts. We first use this part here in this way, and here we just combine the key with its base, like this. To the end. Yes, done. The first part is ready, it looks quite simple. This is such a key, by the way, it cannot be turned over here because of its shape. It will hamper, but it fits and we can insert it back and forth like this, and a little bit left and right. Now we will work with the main part, and perhaps let's take a closer look at it. If you look at it without additional bricks, then it should look like this. I didn't even put it all inside that easily without the bricks. We also have such blocks which have different shapes. They look so similar to the blocks from the Excalibur puzzle, but still they are of course a little bit different. They are of three types. These two are exactly the same, there is one where one more mini element here, and this one where two more mini elements were added, and all that will complicate the solving of this puzzle. Let's start. I will start the stopwatch now, and you can write in the comments how long it will take me to solve this puzzle. Let me remind you that this is the 10th level of difficulty. So let's just try to put these details inside the frame first. By the way, the frame is also a pretty interesting one, and the situation will be complicated by these two elements, one larger and one smaller, which are inside. They are the part of the case which we need to avoid somehow. And inside there is enough space, quite a lot, but can this wall block of elements fit there? Here we have the lock mechanism itself, the silver one. It is slightly shifted to the left and placed down. It is not symmetrically located. And look here, there is one block on this side, and on this side we have two blocks. If we completely insert the lock mechanism and the key into the case, then no matter how we turn it, not a single detail will fit through there, because it has a rectangular shape like this, but here we have only a square one available. So, in some way, we will have to probably raise this whole thing like that, so that it can fit here. So, well, I have a thought. Let's take the simplest detail. Okay, it fits, now we can omit it. Move it here and lower it further. Right. Okay, so I think that we need to start using more complex details. These ones which have a more complex shape, so that later simple details can be adjusted in a smaller space. So I have placed the first part, and it seems to be correct. Okay, let's try to place it horizontally now. We've already used 7 minutes, just imagine 7 minutes to place one detail. This proves once again that the puzzle is super difficult. So let's try to do something with the second detail. Looks like it won't be that easy, because as you can see, no matter how we place the details, there's not a single free space for placing this wall block. Guys, subscribe to the channel of my good friend Murd, he makes really great content. I found a cool position for this part. Due to the fact that we can not only push it up and down, but also back and forth, I managed to fit in this position. It is quite complicated, but this is the only position that frees up a huge amount of space here, and then we will be able to return all the elements to their original position. Whoa, nice. Okay, I like it. 17 minutes 54 seconds. I've placed 3 out of 4, and the last detail, I really hope that it fits exactly the way it needs to be used. Let's analyze its shape and free space inside. In general, it won't work out. And how about this way? Oh, in this position the part can fit. The difficulty is that other details bother us here. Initially we need to free up as much space as possible, then lower the silver part as low as possible, put this brick on it. Let's try to do this. So. No, I'm not going to give up. This is a pretty tricky puzzle, but you know that I have solved a lot of different puzzles already and I have coped with all of them so far. I don't know what will happen with this one, just in case I want to ask you to like this video and support me in the comments, because your support motivates me the most. In general, I'm so glad that you received a notification about this video, that you came across it in the recommendations. In order for more people to see it in the recommendations, you can be active and subscribe. Because next time my video may not necessarily be in the recommendations, so subscribe and hit the bell, in order not to miss the next videos. Yes, guys, I placed 2 of those extremely complex details that initially prevented me from placing everything else. But now I'm almost 100% sure that they are exactly where they should be. There's only half left, and after an hour, despite the fact that I did exactly the same thing as at the very beginning, I placed all that a little differently, and now it can have different ways out. Only after an hour of thinking, I really began to understand how difficult this puzzle is. I was thinking, well, okay, the 10th level of difficulty, not the first puzzle of the 10th level of difficulty which I solved, but well, I didn't expect it to be that difficult. Nevertheless, I will try to continue. To be honest, I already start to tremble because of the excitement. I'm really worried and I cannot understand why. It seems to be an ordinary puzzle, yes, a difficult one, but I think I will still be able to solve it. But for some reason excitement overwhelms me so much that I can't even speak calmly. There's a complete feeling that the puzzle is about to be solved. I don't know why I feel this way, but for an hour and 18 minutes it seems to me that I'm really close to the end. It is like only one movement is left for a puzzle to be solved. But all these attempts have failed so far. I have no idea what needs to be done to make all this work. Why is it so difficult? I already started using the other elements, not the ones that initially seemed correct to me, but with the different ones, and the picture doesn't change, nothing works out. Okay. Every puzzle has its trick. And as practice shows, oftenly, if there are two elements for interaction and one is not inserted into the other, then you need to try to insert the other one into the first one. Now I will try to not insert these small parts inside, but the other way around. I'll insert a large part into small ones. We will start with the opposite. But will it work? I hope that everything will come out as expected. So, this goes here and this goes here. I've been solving puzzles for so many years, and I've solved completely different puzzles with so many different secrets, and some of them I was able to solve fast and some not really. And with all this experience I realized one really important thing. Quite often the decision takes a long time only because you are initially using the wrong path. And for some reason it seems to me that 2 hours and 10 minutes on the timer examines that I'm following a completely wrong path. And for some reason I'm trying to achieve some result in this wrong way. Although I should have realized a long time ago that nothing would work this way. Now I will try to make absolutely different movements and rearrange completely different elements. And I hope I can do something with all this. I really hope, to be honest, because I've been solving this puzzle for 2 hours. But I can't solve it yet. As you can see, you have to use not only the position of each detail relative to each other, but also their level. If, for example, I lift these parts up, Then I will have free space inside to work with the part that is below. If I manage to turn it over here, then another detail can fit under it from the back side. For example, there. It's difficult to explain everything and even more difficult to solve, but I'm not going to give up, despite the fact that initially I really started doing it incorrectly. By the way guys, subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, because the following video will be about the most innovative Rubik's Cube in the world. The future is now, don't miss this. The last detail has left. It seems that now I have as much space as possible, but it is still not enough to fit this detail inside. How would you do it in extraordinary way? This detail will not fit here at all. No matter how we try, although we can try. It needs to be placed like this, right? No, that will not be enough. You know, at the beginning of the third hour of solving, I started absolutely from scratch, anew, and it really happened as I said. In the beginning I just went wrong and tried hard to lead to something, at least to some position, and it turned out to be wrong, which took me more than 2 hours. And now I have completely different elements, absolutely different positions, and from what I see now, it is more correct, because it is already way easier to manipulate the details. These are completely different details in a completely different place. But still, the puzzle is still not being solved. Folks, don't forget to subscribe to the Artme channel, it's worth it. Too much for me, folks. Here they are, 4 details. It would seem, well, what could be simpler? Just put them back and that's it, and they won't fit. See? Practically it turned out. Now we need to understand how to omit this little detail. Honestly, I've never seen such a challenging puzzle. This puzzle is so difficult that it feels like I'm solving several puzzles at the same time. It could be an Excalibur puzzle and a blind maze that you need to go through all in one, you know? This is how unpredictable and difficult this puzzle is. Here the key has two positions in each keyhole position. This one. That is, it can be either on a level with it or lower by one level, and this is extremely confusing. Can you imagine how many elements there are inside that prevents me from fitting the rest of the parts? Well, to be honest, I can't do anything about it. I'm just running out of strength. 3.5 hours on the timer, guys. This is practically the record for the difficulty of the puzzle. But again, I'm so confused by the fact that initially I was moving in the wrong direction. In general, it is similar to the end of solving. We only have this lock left. I just can't understand, is it uneven on purpose or I was just wrong? It remains to literally lower this lock by one level and align these details here. This one doesn't move. This one moves. Will it work? Oh, wow! Did you understand? This detail doesn't allow to make the passage downwards. If we remove it, it goes down alone with, in my opinion, this detail should go too. And now it needs to be raised and... here we go. Stop. 3 hours. 48 minutes. Well. To be honest, somewhere in the middle of the solving, I no longer knew how to describe any of these details, because I was so confused with this puzzle. And it turned out to be really difficult. I wanted to lower this key so that it was exactly in relation to the center, but as you can see, it is slightly offset, and this confused me so much in the beginning. As you can see, the key is not in the middle, but shifted in this direction a bit. And I spent 2 hours, really 2 hours, doing literally nothing, starting from the beginning over and over again. I'm so upset because it took me so much time to solve this puzzle. But I'm so pleased because I proved to myself and to you guys that if you don't give up and go to the very end, then in any case it will be possible to achieve the goal, no matter how difficult or unbelievable it may be. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you will support me with likes and comments by subscribing to the channel, because guys, I was solving one of the most difficult puzzles for almost 4 hours in a row, especially for you. Pump your brains, don't forget to solve puzzles and watch my next videos. That's Cubastic, bye and have a good time.